brilliant, beautiful souls who want to be a part of creating the new earth? Here is the answer. Welcome to Soul Search. Soul Search is the high-frequency global online destination for spirituality and consciousness. This is a multi-dimensional community for spiritual seekers, healers, teachers, and guides for the global awakening. With Soul Search, the spiritual seeker can easily search for and connect with healing modalities, spiritual teachings, practices, and practitioners. Within the Soul Search community, you can join groups or take courses for your spiritual journey. With Soul Search, you are part of an inclusive, growing global community for consciousness. For spiritually conscious practitioners, Soul Search connects you to a global audience seeking your services. Post client reviews, articles, videos, photos, and audio. You can create secure and private online communities for your groups and clients. Be a part of an awakening community for spirituality where you can collaborate and connect with practitioners and seekers. Whether you are a spiritual seeker, healer, or just curious, join soulsearch.io today.
It would be my absolute most divine pleasure to introduce my dear sister, sacred friend, Lisa McCardle. She is amazing. She's also my neighbor and lives right here with me in Sedona. And she's recently come. So she's with Indy and me. We actually, the three of us sisters, live on the sacred land together, which is so cool. And it's such a gift because Lisa has one of the most divine channels. She receives messages all the time, and she's so in tune with her intuition. She is the creator of Inner Wisdom Awakening. Lisa McCardle is an author, a speaker, a transformational life coach, and she is a light council channel. So she channels divine messages from the Light Council. For more than 25 years, Lisa has guided high-powered executives, influencers, and everyday people through the process of awakening for expansion, finding purpose, reclaiming true personal power the feminine way. And she is passionate about supporting souls to plug back into the source of where they come from, of who they truly are, and awaken to their fullest potential and witness the magic of their extraordinary life unfold before them. And she personally is the person, I feel like she's also a counsel to leaders, because I want to say everyone on this beautiful broadcast, you're all part of the soul family and you're awakening in your leadership, whether you know it or not. And she's somebody that I personally go to when I don't know what's going on and I need some love and some mothering and some support and some divine direction. So she's one of my people. And I love you, sister. I cannot wait to hear your message. Get ready to go deep, everyone.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Wow. So honored to be here. And thank you so much for seeing me and reflecting me back. We really are on this journey together, and it is the community. It's the commonality of you and I tied together as we rise, right? As we raise the consciousness. And I came in to this lifetime as an Aquarius, so I'm here for it all. So that was beautiful, Raquel. And it leads so beautifully into what it is that I have been called to speak to today, which is letting go, one of the steps to ascension. And we're all doing it. It's a community collective experience, and it's also incredibly personal because we are being summoned deeply to understand the sweet surrender, the deep letting go. We must release all in so many ways that was created in the third dimensionality, so we can rise up, release the density, and be in the full remembrance of who we are and what it is we're here to do as we birth this new earth together. So I started writing a book a couple of years ago. It's getting close, you know how these things go. But what was coming through is the 5 steps of ascension. And step 1 in it is presence. It's really embodying and embracing what it means to be in full presence in this now moment. Because when we are in the past, We are creating and stirring depression of things that we have no sovereignty or no control to shift or change. And when we're in the future, we're usually creating anxiety, and we're usually often from this density lens, writing stories of things that don't really feel as good as they could. So in presence is where we get to find our great remembrance. It's where we get to be in that step 2, which is connection to all things, letting source move through us, seeing all the messages and the inspirations that come in every moment, telling us we're on path, we're on purpose, and that we're not doing this alone. And that elevates our trust. And then we get to the point, to that place, the space of deconstruction. Perhaps, I don't want to quantify it as the hardest, but let's say it is one of the greatest opportunities in our ascension. That letting go, that letting, if we can't let it go, we let it be, right? That sweet surrender, handing it over. And then ultimately ascension occurs. And much like grief, these are all happening simultaneously, right? So we go into deconstruction, we go back to presence, we come back to our connection, we're in another experience of ascension. So it's not a linear approach, but in my experience, perhaps the most profound of all is this great remembrance that it's okay to let go of what is complete and what no longer serves us. So let's dive into that a little bit more. So I invite you to really take a moment to get clear on, what does this mean to you? What does letting go? What does letting it be? What does surrender look like? What does it feel like? And how are you experiencing it? The thing that's interesting is that I looked up the definition of surrender, and it's kind of almost, by definition, they brought in this like giving up. And I was like, no. That is such a third dimensional kind of experience, like when you've like surrendered yourself to be taken. And it's like, what if we reframe surrender as not giving up, but giving it over, letting it be, having this opportunity to be in co-creation, collaboration with source itself, that we don't have to know it all. We don't have to figure it out. In fact, we can't figure it out anymore. We figure it and reconfigure it within. What if it wasn't giving up, but as Raquel so beautifully said, it was moving into that zero space, that 0 point of neutrality, where we hand over our suffering. Spirit keeps saying, lay down your sword of suffering and raise up your shield of light, right? Surrender the sword of suffering. What if surrender, letting go, is a part of divine communion in our great remembrance? And so I want to talk about it a little bit. So this is happening very much on the micro, on the inner lens, right? It's very personal. Do you remember when we used to make like 5-year plans and 10-year plans, and we'd put everything in action to this level of presence is letting go of how we formulated a life, how we formulated a plan, how we put things in action, and then we took the steps to achieve it, and we reverse engineered it, and all of that very linear, dense things. It just doesn't hold up anymore. It doesn't hold up because it was never our authentic expression. It was never us moving in communion and holy communion and grace with source itself, right? That trust, that presence, that great connection for the rise. So what we're being summoned into is letting go of attachments to outcomes, right? We're letting go of thoughts, of habits that kept us in density or kept us separate or kept us numb from that suffering expression that we walk through for so many thousands of years as souls here in this expression. Letting go of beliefs, letting go of the emotions, how you think, what you think, right? That mind, the oversight of the mind, which is really the eye of the heart in the higher frequency. So letting go of what you know, what you believed, what you always thought to be true, right? We are moving through letting go and releasing programs and illusions and non-realities that we attach to. on the interpersonal lens, we are being asked in our rise to surrender so much over that kept us in that sort of suffering, that kept us in that great illusion of separation. And then it plays out on the macro, right? On the outer lens, in the outer field of your experience. Our intimate relationships are being questioned. They're in transition. They're transforming. They're being let go of. The familial, right? Friends, communities, jobs, cities, where you live, how you live, homes, states, global, right? Everything is in this massive transformation, in this deep deconstruction. So take a moment and just bring your attention, your awareness into your heart. Take a deep breath and get really clear what you're being called to let go of, what you're being called to surrender over, what is not going to rise with you or is not rising with you in the frequency that's being, well, the word is demanded right now, right? What is being demanded or commanded through you? It's rise or release, right? If it's not rising up with us or not in the frequency of which we need the rise to occur, then we must come into a comfort zone of releasing. And most of this, it's also important to be in the remembrance that as you're doing your own inventory of what has been released and what's being asked for you to step up and into, to be conscious, to make the choice to let it go. We'll talk about some tools for that in just a little bit. But part of what's happening here as we rise into this golden age of Aquarius and moving out of that wounded healer and that density of which we've existed for so long is that karma is coming into completion. And so let's remember too, that be remembered, reconnected into the great awareness that so much of what our souls chose as we came into this lifetime were based on the fulfillment of our agreements or our contracts or our karmic ways. I see karma in some ways as debt, right? And we look at a society that's been very indebted, and that is simply not going to hold up when we move into the full remembrance that we are in communion, connection to all things, that we no longer are going to have to learn from contrast, divide, separation, karmic fulfillment, pain for pain, pain for rise. It doesn't even feel good to say it, does it? It doesn't really feel good to feel it because it's as familiar as it once was through these lifetimes of which we've experienced. It's not our innate soul's truth. And so what a blessing that we are being summoned. We are being called forth to let go of the old ways, to let go of the old attachments. And as we speak so much too in this whole weekend, this beautiful weekend of this portal of ascension and ascension of the soul and the soul searching and all the things of which we are communing here, is that we, in that letting go, we are summoning our soul family. We're summoning those who are gonna rise up, ride up this wave, this crazy wave we're on. This crazy diamond wave of great remembrance, right? We're opening, we're closing the density and contrast so that we can open into this sacred holy communion of great remembrance. And you know what it feels like, just as you've done the inventory of what is it that's being summoned to let go of, what is it you're in process of letting go of. You also know, because you're here, you also know what it feels like when you look into the eyes of your soul's matches, right? When you look into the eyes, when you feel the resonance, when you feel the communion of the sacred souls that are being summoned forth within you, your soul family, where you don't have to explain or prove or fight or fear. You just get to be. And you get to be seen, and you get to be received, you get to be remembered. And it's not even with your words, right? Because at that level, we remember that the souls commune, and there's always a communication that is occurring. So I'm going to share my story a little bit because I'm writing this book over the last year and a half, and I get to the deconstruction phase. Everything in my life blows up. I had a astrologer friend who was like, oh, you're heading into the Saturn experience and everything in your life is going to look different. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. The book's going to sell and I'm going to be on the world speaking and doing the things. And this is going to be so amazing. And the reality or the experience of it was a little different. So I found myself in Maui in July of 2021. Spirit said to me, you're going to die 100 deaths to be reborn 101 times. This is what we're doing. We're dying. Parts of us are dying, this letting go, right? You're going to die 101 deaths and be reborn 101 times. Or maybe they said 1,000 and reborn 1,001. I don't really know, and it doesn't matter. But at that moment, I had just gone through a deconstruction of consciously uncoupling a 15-year relationship, letting go of a family home, letting go of 80, 90% of my human belongings. I thought I had just done the biggest thing I'd ever do. And when Spirit said you're going to die 1,000 deaths and be reborn 1,001 times, I was like, yeah, my soul's been around a lot. It's coming and going. And I'm so happy to be here now in this. I didn't know that I was being summoned to this journey within 1 year. I died 101 times last year. 100 times to be reborn 101, just like you are. Just like you. We are all having this experience. So I come back from Maui early because I'm called back. And 7 weeks later, my consciously uncoupled partner dies unexpectedly, which sets a trajectory of letting go in a level that was incomprehensible for me when I was told of the 101 deaths, 100 deaths. So living through deconstruction, living through having to hand over everything, a business, a partnership, moving my son to college 2 weeks after his dad died, I being summoned to let go of community of 27 years and finding myself here in Sedona just 8 weeks ago, literally letting go of everything that I had attached to for security. And the message that wants to come through is a great reminder that it is safe for you to let go. What we're letting go of in so many ways is the illusion of attachment that we have to these things for security. That third dimensionality, that third density says you are separate, you are not safe, you are alone. So you must attach to people, to places, to experiences, to things, to objects in the great illusion of security. It's a metamorphosis, right? We go into the chrysalis. We all know the story of the butterfly. We all know it. And now we're all on so many levels experiencing it. And then that chrysalis moment when everything is handed over, everything that caterpillar once believed or perceived to be its truth had to disintegrate into a nothingness. And it's painful. When they hook probes up to that chrysalis, there are sounds of pain that occur. This journey of becoming new humans is not the easiest journey, but it is a beautiful metamorphosis. And all of our souls said yes to being here for this experience at this very significant time. Only the supersonic souls are here on Earth plane right now because we said yes to being brave and willing to deconstruct everything that had ever been held in the illusion of security outside of self. You are the brave hearts. You're the cosmic creator souls. And your mission here is so incredibly important. And we are incredibly grateful for your willingness to be here and experience this. So through that chrysalis, everything has to reorganize, right? It is a death and it is a rebirth. And here we are becoming new humans. So Spirit keeps saying that there's 3 points of connection, 3 points of connection in this new frequency that is coming in, that it is self to self, right? We attached to our relationships, our things, all these things outside. I'm secure now. I have the home. Oh, I own the home. Now I'm really secure, right? The great illusion. Oh, I have the relationship. Now I'm married, so I'm really secure. The great illusion. I have the job. It pays this. The great illusion. Self to self, knowing that you are the conduit of profound light that holds the codes of remembrance of everything that has ever been. Self to self in this level of presence, in this level of connection, trust can occur. I hold, I am, therefore I shall experience, right? The great awakening of the I am consciousness, of the great remembrance of what is true for you at soul level, self to self. Then it comes into self to higher self, your soul self high communion, to deliver this remembrance through you all the way. I am here as this vessel in human form, self to self. I am here connected as a sacred supersonic soul of sheer delight. And from that, we move into the great remembrance of self to source itself. That you are the gods, the goddesses, the great creators of everything that has ever been. And as you, through your bravery, it's so brave. We are so brave to be humans and to go through all of this. So you, in that remembrance of self to higher self, and self to source itself, become the conduit. Oh, it's 11:11 right now. Never miss a moment, right? You are the conduit of heaven to earth. You are the masters. The number 11 brings in the mastery of remembrance. You are the masters. And you are here to become new, to become remembered, and to elevate the frequency of this planet. And you must do it by letting go of the old. Spirit's been saying through me for, oh gosh, it's been a long time. Attached to nothing, allow for everything. And I was like, it made sense, but now it really makes sense. It made sense from my 3D mind of the great illusion of attachment, but now it makes sense in the cells of my body of what it truly is to be unattached, yet in holy communion to all things. That attachment of expectation, or again, the illusion that fear creates, or that creates fear of attaching to these things. And when we are unattached and in our greatest remembrance, that's where, the magic is always happening. And you're allowing for everything. The magic is always happening, but you're more available to be in the receiving of it. When you are standing there as the hollow bone. And they say, someone shared with me after my partner died, that they say that a person in grief is the closest to God. Because the filters are gone. The humbleness that occurs in the face of death gives you a level of surrender that the mind cannot go to without being brought to its knees in some ways to hand it all over. And it does not have to be the death of a person or a significant other. We are going through death, rebirth process over and over and over again, right? You went into that inventory of what all are you being asked to let go of. And let's also get real. There are a lot of humans leaving the planet, a lot of souls leaving the planet right now. A lot. And so we're all going through an experience of grief, and that is only going to amplify more. Spirit showed me at one point in time, few years ago, before my awareness was even where it is now, all these souls leaving. And that part of their agreement was to lift their energy, this soul net they showed me, that yes, they ascend up and out of body, but that they hold this frequency of a space in between for us. And Spirit said, you're also busy, like, getting to your job and doing your things and, looking here, micro, survive, right? All the density of this third dimensionality. And when beloveds leave physical form, we lift up. We lift up because we realize that all of this busyness never really meant anything in the detachment to the survival. And so we look up, so we raise our gaze up. So these souls that aren't necessarily here to walk through this ascension and earth plane reality are also here as contribution to lift up and hold us on high. It's so loving. It's so gracious. It's so kind. It's so hard for us here to let go. But we also have an opportunity to move through the illusion of the space and the veil. And here we are coming into this weekend, right? The Dios de los Muertos, right? The veils are thin. The soul's convergence is so much more available to each of us. And the souls that have chosen or are choosing to leave this physical form are offering us such an opportunity to be in great remembrance of the great illusion of separation and even of this 3D reality of body, right? To embody the great remembrance. So let's move into some tools. Trust your knowing. You know what needs to be let go of. You know. And often because of that old illusion of holding on to things outside of ourselves for security, it's hard sometimes because of that density that we hold on to think about letting go. I see that come up a lot, especially in relationships or in, a job that you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to become educated for and moved into, but it is not your soul calling anymore. And you're like, well, how do I give up this? I built it up to this. It's how I support the family. It's all these things, right? We've locked and loaded ourselves into these experiences and attached to them, and they're not going to hold up in the new. And how you know it's not holding up is it doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good anymore. So be mindful if you're full of your mind in the shoulding. Are you shoulding all over yourself? I should stay in this relationship. We have children. We've done this for so long. What if I never meet anybody else? True. Could be true. Might not be true. I can't quit this job. I've worked so hard. I did so much. I'm at the top of my game. I finally made it. And I wake up every morning miserable that I have to go do that thing, not that I get to go do the thing. So what are you choosing? Trust your knowing. Because if you're not choosing to let go of that which is no longer serving you, Spirit will choose it for you in time. And it is much more comfortable to be in your choosing in many ways. And there's moments when the awareness comes in that you know that you're being summoned to release something. And maybe you're just not quite yet ready. And it's okay to let it be, to stay curious in heart. I know this is no longer for me, but I do not yet see the path. Show me higher self. Show me source itself. Show me. I am open to the experience of transformation, and I request and ask humbly and openly that I be guided and shown. And for now, I'll let it be in my full presence. Connect, just like all the tools of ascension, connect to the earth, Connect to your higher self through prayer, through meditation, remembering that prayer is asking and meditation is listening to receive the right messages. Drink your water, keeping the cells of your body, because that's how transmissions occur. It moves through the waters of the body. You are 80% water. It moves through the waters of this planet. We must bring the waters in and let the waters move. And water is also the energy of emotion. Move your body and seek for proof that everything's going to be okay. And how we seek for proof that everything's going to be okay when we're making these commitments to letting go is do a little rear view mirror look at your life to this point. No matter how intense it's been, no matter what the challenge opportunity has been, it's always been okay. It's always worked out okay in the end. It always is okay. It's not always comfortable, but it's always okay. Be open, honest, and transparent with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Move through the great illusions and witness where you're attaching out of fear and remembering that there are only two human emotions. There is fear, which destroys, and love, which creates. Could you cast a spell, abracadabra, your words are your wand? Could you cast a spell of love upon whatever it is that is being summoned and asked through you to be transmuted, to be let go of? And can you hold that in raw, authentic truth, in honesty? Can you stand honest within the mirror of your truth, of what you're being asked to, what is being asked to rise or release through you? And then, can you be honest with those around you? And you don't have to know how. How is never any of your business. When my partner and I were deconstructing our 15-year relationship, one day I could not talk anymore. And I said, we have to move, and I don't think we're moving together. And that's all I know. I don't know anything else. I know nothing. But I know that. And so by standing in what it is that I knew, it opened all these doors out over weeks and months of communication, communing into what do we know now? And what's the next step? Presence, right? What do we know now? So you don't need to know it all. You just need to know what is true for you. And you need to be willing to stand bravely, filled with love and curiosity as the great deconstruction is before you. We are all grieving. We are grieving on deep levels. We are grieving ever having forgotten that we are connected to all things in all space and in all time. We're grieving loss. We're grieving letting go. And it's messy and it's beautiful. And the thing to remember, and where I'll end here, is that we are not doing any of this alone. Whatever the experience is, it is unique to you. It is very unique to you because your experience is of your soul's creation. But we are all having similar experiences, expressions. Our stories might be different. So listen to each other's stories. Hold the stories of those around you in their heart. It is the greatest way to support someone who is grieving, whatever it is they're grieving. Listen to them without needing to tie it back to your experience or your story. Listen with the presence of a fully blooming heart, and healing shall occur. Show up in love to each other and know that we are all walking each other home. We are being asked to let go of pretty much everything so we can rise up new and remembered and become new humans. We're not doing this alone. Together we rise. So with that, I'm complete.
Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. This is Neil, founder of Portal to Ascension, and just closing out this podcast here and letting you know that what you're experiencing are all types of presentations that we have on Portal to Ascension. Such a wide variety, different audio clips from conferences that we do, and then other interviews that we have also on our YouTube. And I want to take this moment here at the end and just talk to you about a few upcoming things with Portal to Ascension. We're really excited because 2023, we're really blasting off, and we have a few conferences. We have Portal to Ascension San Diego, April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. We have Portal to Ascension Glastonbury in the UK. Hope to see some of you there. That's August 11th, 12th, and 13th of next year. And then, or 2023 if you're listening to it now. And then we're also taking a tour of people to Egypt, guys. And we're going to go from September 7th. We're going to have the Hertax with us, JJ and Desiree Hertax, like you might have experienced on that channel. Joan of Angels is going to be with us, and also Alan Steinfeld. And actually, I have Joan of Angels here with me right now, so I'm going to just hand it over to her and get your input, Joan, on what we're going to be experiencing, your excitement, and all of that.
So this is a critical time in our history on the planet, and 2023 is this reawakening of it's just our reawakening of our spirituality and our transformation along this ascension timeline. So these events are designed to really awaken you, to really bring you to remember who you are, why you're here, your galactic origins, the power, the personal power we have within us to shift into the planet that we really want at the most optimum of potential, to align our body, mind, and spirit to get there. So these, just to be together in person, activates forgotten memories, activates light codes, activates DNA, and most of all, activates your happiness cells, because the joy in coming together is just extraordinary. So we invite you to come and be with us in any of these events around the world. And even online, we try to create that same energetics. So we love you all, that we are creating a mystery school that goes around the planet and off planet.
Exactly, yes. And just a few websites for you. So firstly, of course, the main website, portaltoascension.org. We'll have everything there. You can sign up and get 1,000 plus, well, it's over 3,000 at this point, hours of free conscious content, like a streaming platform where you can browse and all of that. And then ascensionconference.com for Portal to Ascension San Diego, ascensionglastonbury.com for the Glastonbury conference. And then the Egypt tour is going to be on Portal to Ascension, or is on portaltoascension.org as well. So some beautiful, amazing experiences. We're really blasting off. It's time to get exponential. We've been exponential, but now the exponential curve is even going even higher, because it's really time for us to remember who we are, tap in our true potential, and make some change on Earth that's creates betterment for everybody, right? And that's why we're doing what we do. That's why this podcast exists. So excited to see you guys there. AscensionConference.com and Portal to Ascension. Joan, any closing words?
Ascension Glastonbury. Yeah, we're all taking off together. This is the times for which we've been called, loves. Can't wait to see you there.
Love you all.